Okay, we live here.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our special meeting of November 10th, 2025. To talk about our 2026, or the first meeting anyways, of our 2026 capital projects. There's going to be a short presentation tonight. As we always like to acknowledge that we're gathering tonight on Treaty 5 territory, which is the ancestral and traditional land of our neighbors, the Opaskwayak Cree Nation, as well as many other indigenous peoples. And there's also the homeland of the Red River Métis Nation. So with that, I'll call the meeting to order. Somebody should have a resolution to adopt the agenda.
We're going to solve Secretary Councilor Allen, resolve that the agenda be adopted as presented.
Any additions or any comments? Seeing none, call the questions. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. That's everybody's here tonight. Okay, so as I briefly mentioned, we appreciate our staff's been working for, a little bit of a time now, the last few months, getting things together for the 2026 municipal budget, and part of that is the capital projects plan for the municipality. So what we're going to do is go through sort of part of the summary tonight. As you can see on there, we'll get some individual presentations done by the managers. Just as a note, I'm not sure if this is a complete list yet, but for people, if they're looking at the totals, it's sitting at about $5.8 million. And for us as council, we look at that and we also have to recognize that there's a significant portion that we believe will come from grants, but that's still probably only about $2 million worth coming from grants. So it leaves the municipality with about a 20 mill rate capital budget, which if you relate that, our mill rate for 2025 was 57.87 or 687 or something along those lines. So it sort of puts it in perspective that your capital is a significant portion and a significant investment in the budget, and it's something we'll have to make sure that there's good value coming back to the municipality that's necessary. So with that, what I would suggest maybe we could do is, if it's okay, Bola, is that maybe we can move Trevor first, just so he can get out of here quicker, or we just want to leave it in same order?
Yes, let's just
Leave it in the same order? Yeah?
yes.
You want to make them wait?
I want him to be here.
All right. Sorry, Trevor, I tried to do you a solid there, but
Well, and I felt the sincereness in it, but I'm patient. Let's. I'm waiting in suspense here. What else I hear?
okay, perfect, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, so
Fix the mic.
yeah, that makes sense. So administration, so there's the portion for administration.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Bola, and we will be presenting 6 different capital projects this evening. And that will be coming from 4 different departments. And we have other bulk of our capital projects on November 17th. So I will start with the administration, which is basically 2 projects. I'm proposing a town signage along the highway of the Civic Center. The project aim is to upgrade the current town signage. And if we can see our screen, this is kind of the poster. We're looking at having something up that says Town of the Parks, our symbol, and land acknowledgement if possible. And I was thinking of probably having something like a vision or vision statement somewhere. But this is not the final version, but that's kind of what we are thinking of. And the project's objective is to upgrade the current town signage, like I said. And why are we proposing this? We are looking at updating the signage to provide the effective direction to people. The one we have now, I don't know when that was made, and it's very hard to see. We want to see if we can improve our visibilities, accessibility, and most important, having a kind of visual appealing for both residents as well as visitors. It will also create a positive first impression of our town and enhancing the municipal branding. Ensuring that important information remains visible if it is possible for us to have our notice. And the other benefit is kind of enhancement of our community image and being a modern and professional. If it is professionally designed, it will present a positive and welcome town of the park image. And finally, it will also reflect the town's vision or mission, like I said, and strengthens the overall municipal identity. So I'm looking at the estimated number of what we're looking at. It will cost us about 10,000, and we've already applied for a grant of 10,000. So if we get the approval from that grant, we hope to use it based on the approval of the council. So that's the first.
We'll just say that the quote that included, it's gonna be, electrical, with the lights on there as well.
I will be relying on public works to give me that.
Based on the quotes that we got, we haven't really got anything very lighting yet, depending on how we try to visualize the sign, because the sign itself, if it has a digital component to it, so in that case, the lighting might not be recurred, but if it doesn't have a digital footprint, or it's like a concrete, then we might need some lighting to be added to this project.
Where would that sign be located?
The sign, existing sign we have, where we have the existing corner.
It's over there. Yes,
The corner. Is it double sided or just one sided?
this one, this is one, this one.
And it'll likely be double sided.
Double sided.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought, so you're seeing it from both
Okay, that's what it should be, both sides there.
My only comment towards the vision and the mission statement is that can change from council to council, so I wouldn't necessarily
Oh,
Yeah,
put the vision and mission on there. Because the next council may want to have a different mission statement or vision statement.
This is our council.
This is an opportunity, you put the land acknowledgement on the picture, it would be an opportunity to do the truth and reconciliation plaque as
Yeah.
part of it.
yeah, agree.
That could be an opportunity
Yeah,
to do that.
And what I would do also with the land acknowledgement, as council managers mentioned, I would have that conversation too with the leadership of the community, just so that you get the appropriate wording and everybody signing off on it. Make a little ceremony of it to show our commitment.
the second piece of the capital projects from the administration would be the safety camera. So this is kind of blurry, but that's proposed application. During the town hall meetings, the last town hall meeting, the big things that came up was how can we improve the safety of our community? So we sat as a management and we identified some areas that we call them red zones. So we look at the red zones, the one of them is Devon Park. And we'll be looking at most of our parks, intersection, downtown area, public areas, and all the municipal assets, including parks. The projects will involve installing the camera in these key locations. And this camera will help us to deter the criminal activities and vandalism. This will also help the law enforcement and emergency response team by providing them reliable video footage. We are proposing the cost of 120,000 for this portion. We have been looking for a way around of possibility of getting grant. We've not been able to see something that suits what we are looking for. We try as much as possible, but for now, the cost this will be around 120,000 for this red zones location. And I believe down the line, if we see how it works, this can be expanded to other areas.
How many on that price there? What jumps out at me is $115,000 in labor and only $5,000 for wireless.
Those numbers are not, the way we divided the number are not exact. They are kind of.
How many cameras is this?
Okay, so it's thank you.
Just have two questions. How many cameras and it's going to be accessible by the public?
Right now, the amount of cameras is still, I'm still getting quotes and stuff like that, to get the best cameras I can get, but for not an expensive price. So roughly, with just the downtown area, I figured anywhere between 4 to 6 right now.
4 to 6?
Yeah, depending on what I can cover, the coverage of the cameras.
And the idea for access, I talked about it one council meeting, will public having access to the film footage.
The public, probably not, but right for now, the idea was to cover the heavy area crime areas in downtown. Access will be basically the town and probably RCMP access right now.
They're just from my own personal, from what I heard from other communities, if the community has access to it, then you have everybody looking for something going on and not just relying on going after something happens. This is live action. It's live at any time. One community in particular is St. John's, Newfoundland. The downtown is, you can go on there at any time and see what's going on. So it would be, we'd have everybody in town would have that opportunity to look at it. If something is going on,
We definitely can go that direction.
No, I think that is the direction council is,
I mean, that being said, though, you also gotta check into the laws in Manitoba, because every province has their own set of laws. For as far as, invading other people's personal space or whatever.
it's not really the personal space when they're on the street.
Yeah.
I will look into it and look at the legal
A lot of times
implication.
it's not acknowledged in the court systems when it's taken to court for video footage.
We
I've
will,
got 60.
we can ask the
we'll
question.
also look for the legal act or the legal application to be involved before we put it on.
Okay.
Did you have a question?
I do. What would the cameras be attached to? I don't know if it was a hydro pole or if it was a light pole. I had read somewhere a while back that cameras can't be attached to specific types of poles. And I can't remember where I read that, but I know I read something on it. Is there a ruling behind
We're
it?
still looking at what we can do with that. situation.
So we gotta remember when, just for the administration, this is sort of providing the idea without all the
Fair enough.
Installation details and all that sort of stuff. I guess as a concept wise, what the administration's looking for is this is what they believe it is. I think Councillor Hopper has a good question with regards to, how many cameras, we need to kind of understand what $120,000 is.
Yeah.
And then also make sure that everybody understands for us is that, we would like to have the community to have access as Councillor Hopper. My only other comment before somebody else says something first, but why are we waiting till June to do this? Like, why can't we start buying stuff in January? And so that we install them in April or May. So I looked at the spending table, I'm assuming our project completion table. And I don't understand why we'd want to wait because it's summer. If any slip, then we're more or less gonna miss an entire, and everybody's busy in the summer, so why not try to get?
There is no any attachment to the date, so after getting the approval from council by the end of the year, I believe we should get the approval. If there is no effect of the weather, we should be able
Yeah.
to move ahead.
The reason why I bring that up, Olin, is on the project completion timetable, it shows there that in June, 25% of the project will be done, 50% done in July, and 100% in August. All I'm suggesting is that something like this, can we shift, maybe you can't, but can we shift it earlier in the year so that we get the benefits earlier in the year? That's all. Just a comment.
I can make it, get more information as quick as possible here.
Yeah, so I think what the information the council is looking for to help approve this project is camera locations and number of cameras. And if we can have it done earlier, and then obviously, what as Councilor or Deputy Mayor Atkinson said, is, you know, you're gonna install them the way we're supposed to install them anyways, so make sure you have enough money to accommodate that. Any other things from council?
We would have to also build in the cost of saving, like the equipment, the hard drives. There may be a cost attached to, if you're gonna run, say, 6 cameras.
Yep.
You could hit terabytes really quickly.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to pay for storage, so that's something else you have to consider.
Yeah, the ongoing costs with that.
Eventually, when they get the cameras, all that is attached, will be attached.
Yeah, but we'll have to know that ongoing cost, right, because it'll be a yearly cost.
Oh, for sure.
So on this map here, those kind of black dots or narrow the camera.
Well, just basically, this is just a rough kind of thing we were doing and just estimated where the cameras would be put. Depending on what the cameras can do, how powerful the cameras are, how far they can see. Like, there's some cameras you can see all the way down the Fisher Avenue with just one camera, right? But that's you're getting in the higher end kind of cameras and stuff like that, so. What I'm trying to do is get a quote on from the least to most expensive and then present it all that you guys can.
Well, I think it's important, you guys bring forward the proposal and what you suggest.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not, we don't wanna be selecting who the equipment.
No, the
is.
information.
The only other thing I would just add as well, which reminded me, is we'd like to be in the parks too. So there's a couple of high traffic parks that would be good to be involved in.
And I don't think we need to really see the cheapest and the most
No.
expensive. We want cameras that are gonna
Yeah,
be able to identify
Yeah,
facial recognition or whatever.
Yeah.
So you need good cameras.
definitely.
Otherwise, what's in put?
True enough.
and then there was that, one from the safety, the license plate reader on the one of the street lights or something, we're gonna check on that, but we should be doing that too.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
So the next one will be the finance, Laura.
Hi,
Okay, thank you, right.
can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yep, out and clear.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So what I'm proposing is $50,000 towards the replacement of all the access points in the town facilities. So the access points, and for anyone who doesn't know what this is, it's the little boxes that provide the Wi-Fi in all of our town facilities. And in every one of our facilities, we're having problems, including the council chambers. When I spoke to IT, that they are recommending that all these access points be changed out for a number of reasons. One of them being that some of them are coming up to their end of useful life. Some of them are beyond their useful life, and some of them actually aren't even rated for commercial use. They're rated for residential use. So they can't basically be able to support the capacity of the amount of Wi-Fi that we're trying to push through them. Part of this 50,000 is also to replace 4 computers. So all of this is to mitigate the risk of loss of our data and our productivity, and mitigate the internet drops that we're experiencing along all of our facilities. This will provide services more effectively and efficiently.
Any questions? Everybody's good? Okay, thanks, Laura.
So the next one will be the airports.
Oh, here we go.
Aside from the 2 projects it's going to present, we have a carryover project from last year due to we are waiting for the approval of our grant. We applied for some grants, so that because of that, that project will be carried to 2026. That's for public knowledge. Hi, Trevor.
Yes, good evening. Yeah, and Bully, you're correct. So the Transport Canada Airport Capital Assistance Program, when they fund stuff, it all depends on what they're funding at the time and what monies they have sometimes left available based off other projects they've already approved. So stuff like the grader, the loader, and the plow truck might be on their list this year that we don't have to carry it over, but there's no guarantee. Now, the one that we do know that will be carried over is the electrical. We did the full airfield electrical assessment. We submitted the application. They've accepted the application. They haven't funded the project, but they accepted the application. We should know by March of 2026 whether or not they are going to approve that full electrical rehab of the airport, which would be about $3.6 million total of a grant for them, just for the electrical portion alone. And I believe for the 3 pieces of equipment, we're looking at about 1.6 million if we get all 3. Now, there's no burden to us other than maintaining that equipment year over year after we receive it. Moving into 2026, what we do know is, I'm asking on behalf of the team out there, is for a new pickup truck. Our pickup truck is aged. It's needing repairs more frequently over the last few years, and reliability, ensuring that we have an efficient way to provide the service to our airport customers. And the people are really bringing in some of that revenue through the fuel sales. And then the other one that we're looking at, much like the full electrical rehab, we're looking at bringing in an engineering company to do a pavement assessment so that we can submit to Transport Canada for an ACAP or Airport Capital Assistance Program. That pavement, should it get approved, will probably run about $6 to $10 million if they approve it. So our cost would be 40 grand to get the engineering firm to come in and do the assessment, with the potential of having a $6 to $10 million project come back paid for by the federal government.
The Trevor, Gary here, on that half ton, is that the one they use for doing runway friction traction testing?
Correct.
And that equipment is still good, it just you need the new vehicle.
That's correct. It's the accelerometer, which we get that calibrated each year, is still a good unit. It's just the pickup truck that it gets mounted to is showing its age.
What is the year of that truck and stuff, Trevor?
I want to say it's a 2008. I'd have to get you an exact age of that truck.
Yeah, I think it would be helpful for us to have the age, kilometers, maintenance costs, annual maintenance costs, just so our community understands. And when we look at the fleet of equipment that we have here, is this a cascading type of vehicle, that something that's got different colored doors and fenders falling off of it in town, maybe should be disappearing instead?
Yeah, and I know the interior condition and the exterior condition of our vehicles are worn.
Yeah.
And although kilometers may be low, the hours may be up, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's fine. You know, like I said, we should just get that so that decision can be made. I'm not saying that's what we would do, but that's a conversation that Sam and Tanvir and yourself and the guys are managing that fleet of equipment.
Okay. So yeah, no, I'll take that away and find that information.
Any other questions for Trevor? I have one question though, Trevor. It makes me nervous. Every year we're talking about this ACAP funding and grants and equipment and waiting for runway and electrical. What happens if we don't get this? Like, shouldn't we, like, is there other funding streams? Because we need our airport to continue to stay open, and I'm worried about the electrical troubles that we had a couple of years ago where flights were getting diverted and not landing, and like,
Yeah, so for funding for airports, ACAP is the one and only thing available. Other provincial aviation committees airports get funded through other provincial avenues. Manitoba's kind of behind all the other provincial, I guess, councils.
Yeah,
Now, the Manitoba Aviation Council is working on, presenting to the provincial government of means of funding airports around the province, kind of supplementing what the federal government is currently doing. However, there hasn't really been much movement on that. A few years ago, you had the Northern Trade Corridor funding that they opened up, but they were using that for bigger projects that brought the nice publicity with it. They weren't necessarily looking at our size of airport in our area. So, what proactively we could look at, what we did a couple years ago, having our electrician come in and basically tape everything up as best as possible, which is not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee to make sure that the service is available when it's needed. However, when we did it that year, I think we had one interruption for the whole season, which was pretty good trade-off compared to the year we had prior. But when we're talking about something with the price tag that we're looking at, there's nothing else out there that will help us with the rehabilitation.
yeah, so I guess that sort of brings why I'm concerned is that, and what is where are we at on the likelihood of failure? So when we're talking about managing this risk and the consequences that comes along with it, how close are we getting where maybe the municipality has to come forward and maybe start paying for some of this stuff ourselves, especially when it comes for the infrastructure such as pavement and electrical. And I think it would be probably good for us to have a bit of a conversation, maybe with you and Bola, because we are attending some government meetings next week, and I think we need to make sure that our airport stays viable and alive. And if we're not gonna get the support of it, and we're gonna lose that electrical, that's not a good thing. Councillor Howard.
Just over the past history, ACAP was actually fairly reliable, from what I can remember. And Transport Canada, the federal government, they don't want to see an airport shut down, just the politics of that. They've already unloaded onto us. If the town was going to be picking up any cost for that directly, it's a regional airport.
Yeah.
So we would have to look at funding like that. I'm sure the province is not gonna step up and say, oh, we're gonna help you out here. They barely looked after Grace Lake Airport.
Yeah.
So I'm confident that we'll get that. That would be the only one. The equipment, I'm sure you could make do for another couple of years with the equipment out there, but the electrical is priority number one.
Yeah, your comments are bang on.
And FCM, that might be an avenue as well we're probably not the only airport that looking at this.
No, absolutely. No, that's good. Okay, thanks, Trevor.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no, that's on the next meeting. Do we wanna just, it's kind of capital.
There is one more.
Okay.
I do not have my HR here because it's sick. However, I would like to provide some information, and if council will have any additional information, I'll be able to answer, and if I'm unable to answer, I'll come back. So we are proposing a software called Collar HR, and the purpose is to improve the general HR process. Currently, the system that we have they've not been like fully implemented, and utilization is very low. And not because we don't want to use it, it's because we have inadequate support. We have the integration difficulties, and there's also a gap in terms of functionality. Meaning that the current system only covers limited HR functions. And the second part is for the training. So if we want to do some HR training, we pay separately for that. That means we buy like HR download, and pay, so I'm going to share, mention that. Oh, okay. So for instance, currently, we are paying for HRS system, we are paying $4,075. And for the HR download, which is basically for training, we are paying another 300 for that. And which total to 7,379. When HR manager came to me and discussed about this, I asked him, what are the benefits? What are the benefits that we don't get from the current system we are using? Number one, this system, the proposing software will help with automation. That's number one. It will help with the general management of HR in terms of the employee data record and job progress in one place. Now, if we have someone applying for a job, he has to create an Excel, something separate. And if there's a training necessary at one point, there is no prompt or something that will say, this is a reminder, or sends an email to the person that's supposed to do the training. So this process will automate that. It will also help the payroll software, and it's easier to implement compared to the one we are currently using. And this will include the time off, it will include the timesheet data, some other payroll stuff. And we also digitalize the benefit enrollment and the administrative process in terms of insurance carrier, and to eventually reduce the error. It will also be helpful in terms of recruiting, onboarding, time, attendance, tool for tracking, paid time off, vacation requests, time sheets. It will automate everything, training, compliances, and will produce the reporting. And not only that, it also contains the training module inside it. More training than the one we are paying $3,300 for. So the cost for this one is $11,520. If I take out the current investment that we're doing annually, the difference will be $4,141. So we are proposing of removing the current two software that we're using and requesting to purchase this new one. Every year, the annual cost will be $11,520. That's true, yeah.
So if there,
Ian's on the first. So,
Just a quick question. The current one we have, are we under contract?
No, we can cancel it by January 1st. We don't want it taken. So, but it has to be like first week of January so that they'll be able to remove it if we are bringing a new one.
And how quick for a rollover for the new one?
I believe it should be automated immediately.
no. Councilor, or Deputy Mayor?
so with the training modules, Bola, does that mean that if an employee is given, light duties, for example, can they come in and redo their women's training if is that like the training that you mean?
Yes,
Like
that
that,
training that we have currently, if you want to, if I want to say like communication.
Yeah.
Or customer service, we do have that kind of training.
Okay.
And after the completion, there will be certificates. They will do it like a mini exam, like 20 questions, and then give me the certificate. So I do that for our managers, like roll out some training every month. But this is more comprehensive. And in the process of manual inputting of data, especially salary, benefits, and some other things. If you want to look at the past history, it's present is a little bit challenging, but if you have everything in one place, the current staff and the future staff will be very beneficial.
so this would be for everybody, not
Everybody,
absolutely everybody.
everybody. There are other areas that we're talking about. Currently, if you want to do the timesheets, you have to do it manually, so this will take care of it.
Thanks.
So HR can come back and provide any additional information that council needs to know about.
Any questions? One question I think Laura is on right now. When did we install the current HRIS system? Because we just bought that.
I can't quite remember when we installed it. I think we originally tried to do the rollout in 2024 and we ran into significant problems. And we weren't getting the support to get it cleaned up. And then it finally got cleaned up in early 2025. And I think at that point, that's when Mubarak started looking for different options because he didn't like the fact that it was missing some things that he wanted to see in the program. So officially, the HRIS system that we currently have never got rolled out in its full capacity.
So is there so when we look at the two, when we're comparing the two HRIS systems, are we saying that we want to move to this one because it's better than the one that we originally purchased?
I haven't been given the details on the new HRIS system, if I'm being honest with you. I would assume that he did that comparison.
Yeah, and then I would assume you would just, like, when you're talking about integrating the payroll and all that, like.
Well, that's what our new, or well, I should say our old HRIS system should have been able to do. But again, we were running into problems. There ended up being a situation where all the employees were duplicated in the system and we couldn't move forward. And that was in the initial setup of all the employees. And we were not getting any response from VADM iCity for probably a year on getting that cleaned up and fixed. And then it finally did get cleaned up and fixed. And like I said, I think at that point, Mubarak just kind of got looking on other ones to see what they had for options. He was also having problems loading pre-existing certification documents into the current system. I told him to reach out to the help, but they just said, oh, well, you'd have to pay for training. So I'm not sure where the communication got lost there because that shouldn't have had to have been the case. But he's been running into problems with trying to use the program.
One question is, so if they spent a whole year delaying, we didn't pay them for 2024, did we?
Well, we did because we were technically like, we paid before we kind of ran into the problem and then they were working through the problem. And I think I actually got some money back for 2024. I argued with them about some stuff. Got some money back for 2024, but not for 2025 because it was fixed early in 2025 and we chose not to use it.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Any other questions from anybody? All right, everybody's good? Okay, thank you guys for all the work so far and look forward to the next discussion on the other part of the capital. And for our community members that are tuned in tonight, we look forward to seeing you in about 22 minutes at our regular council meeting. So have a good night.